Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are here on the replay, another episode. This is episode 19. And of course, I got my guy with me, Daryl, the great Alexander, bringing him to the stage right now. I'm your host, Jabril Rashad, and we'll be joined in just a second by my other two hitters, Mr. Tim Jackson, TJ of Nebraska, in just a second, as well as Jeff Booker, one of the baddest barbers around. We're getting a little bit of a late start. Not that much though. But we got to come, on this platform and do this show for you all this evening because we got quite a bit to talk about in the world of sports and the cultural part, what it is that we do. So I want to say what's up to my boy D.A. Alexander. What's happening with you,
What's
my
up? What's up, brother Bug? What's going on? I mean, brother Jabril, what's up?
Just put that on out there, huh? Just go put that on out there. Man, we got to talk about this thing, man. What's been happening? What's been going on? But before we get into that, you know how we do it, y'all. I want y'all to go ahead and hit that subscribe, like, and share button for me before we get into these topics today. Because I gotta be honest with you. Normally we kick these things off with these Cowboys, but I said I'm gonna put that to the side for just a second because I want to talk about last night championship game.
Yeah.
Night championship game, which was it was a disappointing game for me, but I know it was a happy game if you was going for those Michigan Wolverines, man. So, when I looked at this game, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was a hard pick. It was a hard pick, and I got it archived because I was saying after the way they played Alabama, I said, man, I gotta really think about this one. I gotta really think about this one.
Well, you know how I felt.
I kept putting the data to it, and I'm looking at how well they played on the back end, man, the middle of their defense on the back end, and I kept saying, man, it's gonna be a tough one, man, for Washington. But I was hoping that they would persevere. But we're gonna talk about that in a second. But what was your take on it? Because who took Michigan? We all took Washington, I think. But you was doubling back, hoping to want to take Michigan, which I understand.
but I just didn't want to pull for him because I wanted Michael Penix to get that championship. But like I told you, I said, man, I think Michigan's gonna have over 200 yards rushing tonight, and they had damn near 300. I mean, dang near 300. So, you know how I was feeling. I was like, man, I just don't want to pull for him. But I say, if I had needed one game this weekend or for the whole thing, I would have taken Michigan because I would have gotten that game. But I'm like, it ain't gonna matter if I pick them because I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna run all over Washington. But I just can't sit up and hope they win. I just wouldn't have felt right.
But I'm gonna be honest with you though, DA. I think, man, and I knew it was gonna be an issue. I knew it was gonna be some problems. I knew, the way, Jim Harbaugh having that kind of like that NFL still left him, that tough NFL mindset, and the way they've been coached this year. And I knew they was on one of these missions from last year. What happened to him, man, against TCU? I just didn't really feel that great about the game, but at the same time, I was questioning whether or not if Michigan's secondary could still perform the way they did against Alabama. And Will Johnson and those boys, man, proved that they could. But like I said, I thought that Washington was going to find a way. And to be honest with you, I think the game kind of got a little lopsided. More. I think the score, or the end of the score, is really not indicative of really the way the game went. Yes, I think Michigan came out and established the tempo because they was really physical with Washington in the early goings. But I do think that Washington made the necessary adjustments the second half to get a little bit more physical. You know what I'm saying? In the run game. Let me bring our boy to the stage. He just hopped on with us. Our AU's TJ from Nebraska. He's with us, joining us live, man. This is another episode of the replay. So what's going on, my brother?
How's my fellas doing, man?
What's
Another
up? What's up,
blessing to be
T?
here with you guys today, man. I'm just
What's
blessed to be
up,
here
champ?
with you.
What's up, champ?
The champ is here.
Absolutely. We are live. Yeah, no doubt. We are live. We are here. We are in the house. And we're talking about it already, TG. I know you was going to be a little bit delayed because you'd already mentioned it to me, but we are live, man. We're here, like I said, and we're talking about last night games. I want to start off, like I say, with these Michigan Wolverines and Washington Huskies, man. I'm a little disappointed, but it's all good. It's all good. So what was your take on it, though, TJ?
Man, before that game even started, I was just thinking about Michigan's defense and how well they played. They've only given up 24 points the whole season. That's the most they've given up all season, no matter who the offense was. And so I was like, this defense is really formidable. I want to see how they come up with Washington's offense, who is prolific. Washington offense has been putting up points against almost everybody, right? And so
Right.
I was wondering about that, but I was like, man, even against Alabama and so on, Michigan defense has stepped up, played real strong. And their running game on offense, because they were so good in the trenches, and their running game on offense is really tremendous. And they've actually imposed their will on every team they played this whole season. And so eventually run comes out and takes over. And Washington doesn't have a good run defense as well. So I was like, whoo, my goodness, this is a tough task for Washington. The only key I was feeling that Washington had opportunity if they could block well enough so they can have enough time for Penny to get there to them prolific receivers they have too. The receivers ain't no joke for Washington. So if he had enough time to do so and he can get his foot set and he can get comfortable, then Washington had a chance. If he couldn't get comfortable, it was over. And that's what happened.
Well, they gave him happy feet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as I was saying to DA, I thought that they made the necessary adjustments because there was a couple of key, points in that game. And I'm not talking about the first half again. The first half, Michigan, without question, man, they came out and set the tempo.
They set the tone.
They set the tone, man, on a couple of those runs. They were just driving them boys. They were just driving them. So, but I think again, Washington made the necessary adjustments. But the problem is, it seemed like every time Washington had an opportunity to either tie the game up, because at one time I think it was like 20-13. They kept shooting themselves in the foot, and it just
missing key passes,
drops.
Yes.
So he couldn't really get his rhythm. When he was trying to get his rhythm, somebody drop a pass at a key moment.
Yeah. And as we see right here, this is when they tied. They was able to score before halftime, make it 17-10. Michael Penix, which I thought was crucial, because remember,
it was.
After this touchdown right here, you get the ball back the second half, but when they come out the second half, they wind up turning the ball over. So it just kept like they just kept shooting themselves in the foot and couldn't get out of their way. And then you had the situation with number 73, the offensive tackle for Washington. I mean, here they are trying to drive again. First, he get the holding call, and then there was offsetting penalties, if you all recall, when Rome Odunze was interfered with, and yet he had holding that would have got the ball down there, I think around about the 10 or 15-yard line for Washington. But again,
it's like he never came out of. It's like he never came out of his stance. Like it's like he almost waited till the guy got next to him before he decided to even come out of his stance. Like he didn't know the count or something.
Like he was lost in the trance, right? Like, okay, we're playing football. Okay,
right.
He's like, I need to stop him from getting my quarterback and tackle the dude almost.
And it was one time, man. The referees, I think they missed the call when he actually jumped the gun. I thought it was going to be false start, and they missed that. And they missed a couple of calls too now, because there was a particular play, Michigan, when they was driving. It was crucial. I think it was a third down, and
it was a crucial hold on
with number 18, Loveland for Michigan, went down the middle. He caught that pass down the middle. Well, that end for Washington actually got held.
It was obvious.
And they was doing those things, huh?
Obvious hold.
Yeah, it was an obvious hold, man. They didn't even call that. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's just like every time that they got ready to try to make some kind of move, something would happen. I mean, and I knew when the kicker was kicking that extra point and the ball hit off the goal post and ricocheted in, like he was playing pool, I knew then even more so. I said, man, it's just not watched tonight. They did something. They made Michael Penix uncomfortable in the pocket. Like
I
Tim was talking
never
about.
I never seen him throw off his back foot that much. Like
True.
every pass was almost off his back foot, and he was just dodging and ducking. I was like, dude, that's not you. Come on, man. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he took a few little shots too to go along with it. So that'll kind of change your mode of operating a little bit too when you're getting them
Yeah.
shots in there because them big old linemen from Michigan big.
Yep. They got
Yeah,
a they got a heck
yeah,
of a line.
yeah.
and he missed he was off target a little bit too because of that because of his feet was not planted correctly.
Yep.
He
That
wasn't
was
he
a
was he
great
wasn't his
cut.
most accurate step. He's a very accurate quarterback.
Very accurate. That's why I was so disappointed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that just tell you what defense will do to you though. That reminds you all the time what defense can do to the best and most prolific of offenses when the defense is there and they're actually playing really well and able to execute well. Man, it will change the whole trajectory of an offense real
Yeah,
quick.
it's hard to account for that human element, man. We gotta always remember we're humans, and those guys are humans. You get hit a couple times, and we don't know how you feel. Only you know how you feel. We don't know that you really rattle. You showing us that you are, but are you really? Like, that's the human part that you can't account for in no game.
Yeah, I landed on you a certain way one time. And you, all of a sudden, you
Like,
kind
I
of
don't want
twist a
that
little
no
bit.
more.
Like, oh, don't hit that rib. Don't hit that. My rib hurt. Don't hit that rib.
Right. Yeah. Man, I hate that.
And it's not like Michael Penix is the biggest of guys. You know what I'm saying? He may be one of those what they talk about being slender but having strength, but that overall muscle mass. It's not like he's the biggest of guys, and he took some shots, man. He took some shots, man, and
I would have rather
know,
he took off running a little more, maybe, but maybe he was banged up by then. But like on some of those, like, hey man, if you're unsure, take off running. Do that, get some first downs until you can get your head back right. But
yeah, but that's not even his game though. He
it's
don't like to
not at all.
run. He very seldom run. When he ran those couple of plays early in the game, I was like, oh, okay. He gonna do what he needs to do for this game in order to make things happen, right? He ain't run no more after that.
well, his after having those knee injuries, knee surgeries and stuff like that, I think that took a little bit out of his game because he had that running in him when he was at Indiana University, but
them injuries.
once he had those ACL surgeries, man, I think that kind of you don't really look for him to to run the ball, which brings the question now going to the next level. I'm wondering, is he going to be a tour, where he just accurate? They both are left-handed, southpaws, standing in the pocket and needing to, have a clean pocket in order to be effective. You know what I'm saying? You start thinking about little things like that because he's not a dual threat quarterback and he's not the biggest a quarterback. Now I think he may be an inch or two taller than Tua is, but man, when he took
But
that
he
shot,
got
man,
nice
I'm looking
enough
at his
size.
frame. I'm saying,
But he got nice enough size as far as height wise, and weight wise. But you are right, his frame is not that. When you look at him, his frame is really not that, built up. He may need to get in the weight room a little bit more as a professional. And the other part, he did have one time where he could have had a first down real easily. It was third down. The line was rushing. They left a space to the left side.
Yeah.
And he went. He couldn't hardly see the guy. He threw the ball anyway, but he should have ran.
Yes.
He would have had at least 14, 15 yards. I know we all saw it because it was so easy. It was such a wide lane over to the left.
Yeah.
He could have ran for a first down, but he didn't do it.
Right. He chose the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Because hey man, I'm gonna tell you something. Them boys, Michigan, man, they was out there, bringing some pain.
They some thick guys. I mean, you know the big Texas barrel people.
Say, man, the way you establish the tempo, man, and you want to win that championship game is through your defense, man. You have to be able to establish that through your defense. And them boys, I'm talking about, they was physical, man. They was rallying to the ball. They was covering in space, man. And they was really, and there was one run, I think Washington was backed up, man, like on their own 12-yard line. They threw the pass to Dillon out the backfield, and I could hear the helmets when they clad. It was like, it was like third down to 22. He might have got 18 yards. You know what I'm saying? But they were still on their own 30-yard line or something like to this effect. But you can hear once he made that collision with the Michigan player, man, it was like helmet to helmet, like boom, they both hit. But you can see them black jerseys, man, they was rallying to the football. And I knew then, I said, man, this is gonna be a very tough game for Washington, man. If they can't find, or match that intensity, I said it's
Yeah.
gonna be a long day, man. It's gonna be a long day, and it was, and it was.
You know what I don't like, man, and I've said this for years, and my friends will sometimes say, "Man, it ain't that easy, man. It ain't what you saying ain't that easy." But I just when you coach anybody and you are a coach, it just burns me up when coaches don't coach. Like for me as a coach, this is just me. I don't see it a whole lot anywhere. If I see my team need a pick me up, I ain't waiting to halftime. I'm gonna be like, hey man, where's the offense? Hey, I need everybody who play offense over here right now. I'm talking about doing a commercial or right after we done punted. I'm calling people out right there. I'm saying, hey man, look, this is it. This is the championship. Get your hand out your butt. Get your head out the stands. Don't be worrying about what kind of dance you're gonna do after you make a catch or a touchdown. We need y'all to get your head right now so we can win this game. Like, man, let's go. I hate to see coaches just on the sideline when they can see their team lacking something and they don't address it. And I know it's protocol, and I think that's a problem. It's protocol. Head coach can't. Some coaches do, but head coach can't go over here and address his team. He can't pull his team together and say, man, what are y'all doing? I like coaches like that who gonna coach. We
You know
paying you.
what's
Push a
you
button.
know I didn't mean to cut you off. Were you
No,
finished? Okay. My thoughts on that is two things. One, most coaches think of you as a professional because you are a professional. And
yes.
as a professional, you have all the internal motivation to actually go out there and play no matter what the circumstances are. On a serious note, the only time I see somebody can lack a motivation, of course, there's something going on the outside, right? Or there's a situation where you're not feeling a certain way and you need to be pumped up. And so sometimes that's an individual thing, and usually your team, your players that are around you will galvanize and look at you and have a little conversation with you. I remember a guy on one of our corners, and he wasn't there. He wasn't playing as well as he could. So he wasn't on my side; he was on the opposite side. So I wanted to talk to him, but you know what? He was dazed. That dude was playing with a mild concussion. So
Mm.
so the reason why he wasn't there, wasn't playing as well,
Wait a minute.
because he
Wait a
had
minute.
hit
Wait
his
a minute.
head. He was playing with a
Wait. He was
yeah,
playing with a
he
mouse.
was, man. He was playing with a mild concussion, man.
Right.
So,
And you know it was different back then. It was
yeah,
definitely different
yeah,
back then. So
yeah.
yeah, I got you.
And he kept playing, but he wasn't successful as we need him to be because he the one, to cause the game to even be close. We could have blew out that team and won that game. It was a playoff game, championship game. And if he hadn't had a concussion, but they didn't trust the other guy to come in and replace him. So they let him stay in there with that mild concussion because he played well enough, but he wasn't at his tip-top game. And you couldn't really say nothing to him because he was what? He was dazed. So I mean, there's some crazy stuff to go on right in right in the in the lines of what's going on. You don't even know what's going on sometimes.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, you don't. They showed the camera was on Michael Penix at one time when he was trying to galvanize the team. Man, he was talking to him, and all eyes was on him. But sometimes, man, it's such a when they say it's a team sport or that football is the ultimate team sport, it really is. It really is. And you got to underline the word ultimate because you got to have 11 guys, man, on the same page, putting in the same direction. In basketball, you can get a guy to say, you know what, clear it out, get out the way. The Michael Jordans or the LeBron James or the Kobe Bryants, the Allen Iversons. You know what I'm saying? In
Yeah.
track, it's an individual sports where you can get in your lane and say, hey, man, let me just go. Not in football. Not in football. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to be going in the same direction, which is why I highlighted the offensive tackle number 73. I can't think his name right now. I mean, he was really, man, seemed like he got to the point where he was a little bit intimidated by the Michigan front rush because that was a couple of times, literally, man, they could have called him for false start. Because I really thought I said, they finna get him, man. Because he was trying to get out his back pedal real quick, get out his stance rather against this edge rusher from Michigan, man. And then you turn around, you hold the guy, man. I'm talking about crucial drives. So you got to have guys, man. When you're playing for a national championship, you got to have 11 guys on the same page. And sometimes, man, the lights get a little bit brighter for some more than others. And I looked
Mhm.
at Washington, that front seven, man, and we understand that they was giving up some rush yards even earlier. Because we talked about, Washington defense early on, how, whether if they was playing Oregon or whoever, how they was able to, uh, uh, eventually they was able to overcome those mistakes early on, but not against a team like a Michigan, built like Michigan. That's gonna catch up with you, and it caught up with them finally. I didn't think, and not that I was looking forward to Michigan actually doing what they was gonna do in the passing game, because I didn't see McCarthy, the quarterback, like that. And plus, give a big shout out, man, to, like I say, Jabbar, man, and the rest of those guys in the backfield. I can't think of my guy number 13, the Asian American brother, came up and made a great play in that slot from the wide receiver. I don't know if y'all saw that or not. His
Mhm.
helmet came off and he was really fired up. I thought they
Yeah.
did a pretty good job on the back end, man, and not giving up big plays like that. But they just got, like DA was saying, they just got hammered on the ground, man. And what's his name, Corm or Karen, the running back number
Core,
2 for Michigan.
core.
Yeah, they established that early, man, that they was gonna come out, they was gonna be physical, they was gonna run the football, and it was nothing you was gonna do about it until we decide. you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
So,
You know what's funny to me?
big shouts out, to
Oh, it was funny to me is that the quarterback
go ahead, say
McCarthy.
TJ.
I was thinking about the quarterback McCarthy, right? Who has some talent, who's tall, can actually, has a good arm and all that kind of stuff. Not as accurate as I want, but way more accurate than that Ohio State game when we watched that one, right? Way more accurate than that quarterback. But I was looking looking at him, they talking about him being a high draft pick in the NFL. And I'm like, he need to wait a year. Because I was talking to some Michigan
Oh,
guys when I was playing. I said, "Oh, y'all got to worry about. He ain't going to the NFL this year. He need to wait another year." And then I see that
well,
that they got him rated up real high. I'm like, "What the heck are they? They must okay. They must think he's gonna be Tom Brady, something. Play third string or didn't hardly play that much and come out in the NFL and be a great player. I don't know.
I don't see it. I mean, I
I
just
don't
he
see it
just
either.
I don't see it. He just showed me enough. I mean, he try to build these players up, man. These national championship game. I don't need was he a sophomore, junior?
Yeah, I think he either
I
red
couldn't
shirt
remember his
junior or
classification.
true junior. I don't know. But I think he's junior. He got one more year for sure. But he should play. He
Oh,
should
okay.
take that
Well,
one more year.
Hmm.
yeah, he should
That's my
definitely take it.
thoughts.
He should definitely take it. But I don't know if he will because I think Jim Harbaugh. I think he might be leaving. I
Yeah,
think
that's
a team, and
true.
if you ask me, my personal opinion, I think he has nothing else to prove. I don't think he's trying to outdo Nick Saban or nothing like that. And plus, I think he has some unfinished business left in the NFL. When he was coaching San Francisco, he took them to the Super Bowl, but they didn't win it. But I think with these jobs coming open, you got the Washington Commanders. Of course, you got the Los Angeles Chargers and a
Titans.
few others. I think they're gonna come calling, man, and I think they're gonna come calling real quick. And I don't really see him staying at Michigan, but who knows? I mean, I know if the
It,
money's right and everything is tight, I know I'll be gone.
well,
I don't
especially
think
with
I.
all the stuff, all this drama that's around Michigan right now too, and with the drama
Yeah,
and stuff that's
yeah,
going on, he
yeah.
may go ahead and leave. And then also, Michigan do have a quarterback that's coming up. He's from Sassy, so they got a young quarterback from Sassy who actually who's a freshman, who may be a sophomore
Yeah,
next
the
year.
one that was winning the option, right? The big physical boy.
Yeah, yeah, that one. Yep.
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, yeah. Even he
Yeah.
was. Even he was physical. He was a physical runner for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely.
So they
Well,
got
again,
somebody to
man,
replace McCarthy if he leave.
yeah. Well, again, man, we want to give a big shout out, man, to Michigan. No hating over here, like I said, and to all those individuals, man, who play this college game, man, and they play through the pain of it, and I gave a big shout out earlier when we started talking about the student athlete. You know what I'm saying? You're striving for not only you want to have on the field success, but you want to have success in the classroom also in your academics. So for them kids, it's been a long season. When you think about it, that's why I'm glad to see NIL now. You know what I'm saying? Them getting paid for their services because it's such a long season. It's such a long season, man. And so I can say again, big shout out to Michigan, man. They did what they supposed to do. They came in, they was dominant in the first half. And I think in the end, when Michael Penix threw the interception, kid running down there 81 yards down the other way, they came in and did what they supposed to do, and they broke Washington's wheel. So,
Yeah.
big shout out to them, but also shout out to Washington Huskies, man, for a job well done. They come a long way, and I know they got a lot of people graduating and so forth too. So we'll see how the draft come up with a lot of these kids in the 2024 NFL draft. So y'all know what I want to do next. You know what I want to do next. I got to segue over to these Dallas Cowboys because they are now the NFC East champions. And all I can say to you, DA, is here we go.
Here you go.
Y'all so immature.
Hey, and you're gonna be able to hear that twice, man. Twice in AT&T.
Oh, I wish they were playing somewhere else, boy.
Boy, I tell
You know what I'm saying, TJ?
How you know I'm
you
gonna
know
get to hear
it.
it twice?
We gotta talk. Huh?
How do you know I'm gonna get to hear it twice?
We gotta
Let's
You
go.
say twice. I can hear it.
You said I get to hear it twice. You don't know that.
No,
You're gonna get.
but he
Hey,
feel that.
you're gonna
That's the
hear
whole
it twice.
key. He feel it.
You're
That's what
gonna
he
hear
feel.
it twice, DA.
Mhm.
Yeah, he trying to as if Green Bay gonna come in. Let me tell you something. Now, I don't know if y'all heard this or not, but they asked Jerry Jones in reference to Mike McCarthy, will he be around by job security? I'm just kind of paraphrasing. And he said, well, we're gonna take it game by game. That's not a confident boost or a shout out, but hey, some people's like, why would he say that? Why would he, I guess Jerry being Jerry, he's just letting them know, man, because they understand there's an opportunity that Bill Belichick is out there. Not saying he'll go get a Bill Belichick, but it is what it is. All I know is you can't lose to a Green Bay Packers team. You just can't. You just cannot do it.
Can't get away with
So
that.
No, he can't do it. You know what's funny? We got all these set up this week with all these rivalry teams come back and playing each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got the Green Bay Dallas game where the coach used to coach at Green Bay, now he's in Dallas and all that kind of stuff. So it makes a special matchup. This will be the theme through this whole week. This first playoff is going to be that type of theme everywhere. And so with this special matchup, and then we'll mention about the Washington game, which I played for the other team as well too. And actually, my favorite coach that I actually happened to play for, because I had the greatest energy I had with the coach, was actually Joe Gibbs over in Washington. And so that was really a fun time as well for me. I had a whole lot of friendships over there that actually were great bonds as well too. And I do have great bonds here in Dallas as well. So just a special moment, even though it's rivalry, it's a special bonds, huh?
I said you saw Joe Gibbs up in the box, right?
Yeah, I did see Joe Gibbs up in the box, man. I got a story about that. I have to tell you sometime. When you ask me about it, I'll tell you the story about me and Joe Gibbs sometime. So yeah, that game was a good game. Dallas came in and they started off kind of slow, and then they picked it up and started to make them plays, and and so we was like, okay, I see you, and yeah, right there, you can see.
Yeah, they come out throwing.
Right?
You see him hit Brandon Cooks, man, on the little out route.
Yeah.
Got your man CD Lamb. Exactly what they did against Miami Dolphins, and they executed, man, to get the touchdown. That's what you want to do. That's how your offense is setting the tempo, man. That's exactly how you want to do it. Back shoulder throw right here, man. And Tony Pollard out the backfield running that little tilt route they like to run. Great catch by Tony Pollard. And then you see Dak, man, here in the back of the end zone, man. Touchdown to Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert, he will be your third receiver, I think, next year, because I think Michael Gallup will be traded.
Yep, or released or whatever they need to do. Hey, check this out. What I saw out of Dak was something special that was a little bit different. Remember we talked about how the great quarterbacks that maneuvers in the pocket, right?
Right.
And he did it last week as well, but he did another level where he was aware of people on the side of him. He moved up, he moved to the side, and he moved back. And to make sure he had enough room where the guy could block this guy, and he gave a good angle for his lineman, and he also maneuvered and actually have time by a great time. And he's a number one ranked quarterback when he has time, of creating more time. Most accurate quarterback during that time, he had the highest rating when for his quarterback that actually don't throw right on time and actually makes time, because one or two things. One, because he throws well on the run, and two, because he knows how to make time for himself as well. So, and then his linemen do a good job, and his receiver do a good job of breaking off their routes with him too. So they've grown during the season a whole lot better, and he's grown through the season as well. That's something that I'm looking forward to see if that continues in the playoffs as well.
Well, I believe that it will. Just because it have to, Tim. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
Because it has to. Because it's really no excuse. It's really no excuses. I mean, we were 80-0 at home this year. You got pretty much everything in play. Now we almost lost, Stephon Gilmore. I was a little bit, I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried when Diggs went out, because I just saw something in Bland, from last year playing that slot. And I know that slot is really a tough position to play. But man, when I saw Gilly get up, holding his arm, Nashawn Wright, to me, man, he's just
not ready.
Honestly and truthfully, man, if he had a little bit more weight on him, I'd probably move him to safety. Because being out there on that island, man, I just don't really trust that, especially in playoff football. But they saying that his shoulder came out and they had to pop it back in place and so forth. So to get that news, man, I'm talking about that did wonders for me. But DA, I mean, you saw the game. You saw you saw Dak, man, with his doing a little bit of his Houdini, man, sliding, moving inside the pocket. But what was your guess estimate? Because I know, I mean, in comparison, if you want to compare him to Purdy, if you want to compare, maybe you don't. Well, you already said you would take Dak anyway, so you on the record for that. So you saying you wouldn't take Dak?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, you would take Dak? Okay, I just want to make sure, because you're on the record for saying that. But what was your assessment of him when you saw him? The things that he was doing against the Commanders on Sunday?
I mean, it's the Commanders, man. I can't put a lot of stock in that, man. And they were playing third stringers, man. Come on, man. Yeah, come on, man. He did good.
But DA, we're talking about. But DA, hold on for a second. We're talking about a division.
I always give Dak his props.
But
I always give Dak his props. But he played to the Commanders, third string players on the field. They didn't even have.
So you want to minimize the competition? That's what you're telling me.
No,
in other words, what I'm saying is the division rival. Now, hold on for a second, because you saw what happened to the Eagles against the Giants. Not that that meant a whole lot, because I thought 2 weeks ago they should have lost to the Giants, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I thought the Giants were better than them.
Talking about they lost their mojo, the Eagles did. But yet it's still Sunday, as we say, on any given Sunday, and you're talking about a division opponent inside the NFC East.
Well, that's true, and I don't compare the Commanders to the Giants. I think the Giants are much better with Tyrod Taylor. Like, they've just been playing a lot tougher. Like, I thought they were going to beat the Eagles. Like, I really said they can probably beat the Eagles. The only thing with the Commanders is most of their players didn't play. They're already not a good team. Then it's the last game of the season. Then the coach is getting fired, and then half your defense sits out. So he did what he was supposed to do. That's all I can say.
Yeah, when I was doing that comparison, talking about how well he's doing, I'm not really worried about the competition. I'm worried about the execution. And so execution doesn't have to do necessarily with who your opponent is. It has to do with what the circumstances are at that particular moment. So in his execution of the situation I was speaking of, especially the one where he was maneuvering in the pocket, he was being attacked. There were guys coming after him. He had to move around in that area. See, I didn't talk about all the rest of the situation where he was throwing and throwing great balls. I was talking about the one where he was under pressure and how he maneuvered through the pocket. And he did it the week before against Detroit. So I had seen it not just once, I saw it twice. And so the reason why I put emphasis on it, because it was something special that he wasn't doing early in the season. He wasn't aware of people pressuring him to the left sometimes, and wouldn't slide. He would either take off or he'd get hit, right? And then he'd get his ball knocked loose a little bit earlier, stuff like that. So now he's maneuvering away from that pressure. He's actually has a better pocket presence. That's what I was speaking to. That's the growth that I've seen in him that I think is going to be real important going forward if he continues at that. That makes it
Sherry, she's on here, man, chat now. She talking about thank you, DA, just because the fact that DA said that we, the Cowboys didn't play nobody but the Commanders, but I tried to correct that because I
Thank
think
you,
Sherry,
Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you.
she's
Oh,
really in the closet cowboy. I really believe that. I really
Nah,
believe that. Even though her original stomping ground is H-Town, because she ain't saying nothing about them Houston Texans, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because she's been.
hey man, let me say this real quick before we move on. Cowboy fans are different, man. Y'all don't. I know y'all don't, and I don't mean y'all because y'all know football. Y'all have played it. You know sports. You can talk about any team. Cowboy fans are different, man. I'm telling you, it ain't that we hate the team. Cause I'm always for all the brothers getting paid. I'm telling you, I wanted Zeke to get paid. I wanted Dak. I wanted to break Jerry Jones and every other owner in the league. I love it when brothers get paid. I don't care what team they on. But y'all fans are just something. It's something wrong with most of them, man. You know, I was getting memes and teased because the 49ers lost the last game against the Rams.
Oh, let's don't. But DA, we can't
And I'm
talk
like,
about
we got the
music.
number one seed. We done rested the whole team.
Lose. But when the Cowboy lose, DA,
No, I'm saying
man, you can't get
we
Stephen
wrapped
A.
up.
He goes Cameron turned around and started laughing.
No, I'm saying Jabril, we wrapped up the NFC like we the home team. We the number one seed last week. So we didn't play our quarterback. We didn't. Most of the people didn't play. I'm saying that most of the Cowboy fans don't understand that. They just
the
say,
Rams
"Oh,
did the same
49ers lost."
thing though. Rams didn't play their guys either. It
I
was a
know because
battle
we
of the
were both
backups.
set, so it
It
didn't
was a
matter
battle of
who
the
won.
backups, and Rams won the backup game.
Right. I'm saying
But
it didn't matter. We number one team. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what's funny? It ain't nothing funny. We sitting on top of the hill watching the peasants try to get in, find their order.
but when you
See, I
want to have
told
a
you they call it Gucci Stadium. You hear that pride
oh
of Gucci. I'm
yeah.
Gucci. I'm better than everybody else. I told you it's Gucci Stadium. It
Let me
ain't
tell you
Levi's.
We sitting on the hill saying, man, they sure are fighting down there. Hope
All
they
right,
get that
Gucci.
straightened out.
Little dude, he know he gonna be in trouble, man. DA gonna be in trouble. Let me tell you why I think San Francisco gonna be in trouble for the simple fact that they didn't play most of their starters. They're gonna have that bye week, right? They're gonna have that bye week, and then a video is going out on your boy. You know, I know they call him Debo Samuel, but he almost looked like Nebo Samuel.
A
He
Shebo.
relieving Brock
Shebo
Purdy's
Samuel,
40
what
or
you meant
something.
to say.
I don't know if you saw the video on TikTok or whatever. Well, boy, he's been playing for San Francisco a little bit too long. Looked like he was doing a little bit more twisting. And I'm gonna tell you, TJ, you know this what I'm about to say. If I'm a ball player and I saw that video, say, man, we looking for every little. Hey, I'm gonna try to knock the snot out of you next time I play. I'm gonna get that
Say,
sugar up out of you, send you, partner.
I'm gonna
Maybe
tell
we've
y'all.
been listening to the music for too long. Because if anybody seen that video, him walking out, man, I say I don't know if his name should be called Debo Samuel, like he Nebo Samuel.
Say, man, I'm gonna tell y'all why we ain't afraid of anybody in the NFC. That's why they needed to play the Ravens. Once Lamar Jackson came to town, and that defense and that physical team, once they came in and slapped us around, that woke us up to anybody we face. I'm telling you, we dropping 40 on whoever come to Levi Stadium first. I'm just letting
Oh
you know.
no, you doing good.
Watch.
You
Just
doing
watch.
good.
Just
You
watch.
was doing good.
Just watch.
Start talking this
We
40s.
dropping
Hey, you know,
40 on whoever come to
I
town.
think well, I'm gonna tell you something. There's a flip side of that coin. Because after the Ravens came in and really just
Yeah.
I won't say something on there. I won't say something, but I ain't gonna say. Well, I'm just gonna say they broad slapped y'all.
Yeah, they did.
They,
They
gave the
did.
blueprint. And I'm gonna tell you something,
Ain't no
DA.
blueprint.
I want you to be honest on this question I'm about to
Ain't but
ask you
one
right
Lamar
now.
Jackson in the league.
Okay, that's fine. But let me ask you this question right quick, D. I'm gonna ask you this question.
Yeah.
Give me
All
your honest answer now.
All right. Okay.
You all have defeated the Dallas Cowboys 3 times, twice in the playoff, once in the regular season. And the last time we played y'all, it was a bad outing on our part. How many times you think you're gonna be able to pull that off? I'm just asking.
Every time
Go
we
ahead,
play,
I'll wait.
it ain't gonna be a blowout, but the Cowboys don't scare the 49ers because we got y'all covered on all angles. Like y'all don't match up well with us, especially now. You just don't.
Really?
You ain't got Diggs. You ain't got Diggs back there, so we definitely ain't afraid of none of your DBs. You just not physical enough for us, Jabril. You just not.
Okay, so you think, let me, if I understand you correctly, you think it's a they say, as they say, style makes fights. You think it's a matchup problem, right?
Yes.
So you see the glass half empty while I see the glass half full. Because let me remind you of something here. Hold on, let me remind you of something. It wasn't, especially last year in the playoff, it wasn't the defensive side of the ball. It wasn't the defensive side of the ball. It was more of the offense that made mistakes. Now, fast forward to the regular season. I'm simply saying, yes, you lose a key player like a Diggs, but yet and still, I think what kind of happened in that game right there, Dallas, sometimes you can press. It's a thing they call pressing a little bit. You want something so bad, you start to press a little bit. Then when someone is not doing their job, there's a tendency to lose what they call your keys. You got keys to a game that every Tim know what I'm talking about. You got keys. They tell you what to look for in these formations. Sometimes when people start doing too much, they start getting out of their lanes. They start trying to do more than what they're coached to do, and mistakes happen. So what I'm saying is, every game that you play, you're playing this game to gather information. You want to. It's like a measuring stick, and at some point, the percentages says that if I'm a good team and I'm facing another good team, I gotta have my day. Hence the saying that the sun will shine on the dogs behind every now and then. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Well, what I've been looking at,
you just basing that on the law of average.
Hold on for a second. What I've been looking at the past few weeks, I don't really think wholeheartedly, DA, you're saying that you the 49ers want to see the Cowboys. That's just my take. But you say what to that?
There's no
while your bandwagons jump over here,
there's no
Curtis
team.
Medley.
There's no team
too. You know what I'm saying?
Jabril, you hoping that the law of averages catches up with us, but you don't. We talking about the game. You saying, well, y'all just can't keep beating us. Eventually, we gonna beat y'all. Nah, we start over every time. Forget that last game. Y'all just not as tough as the Niners. And secondly, you gotta get to us first. You ain't there yet. So
I'm not worried about that though. Okay.
I'm just
y'all are not. Hold on. May not come out. You may not. You all may lose too. But go ahead, TJ.
That's possible. That's possible.
Let me put some football in it, since you said football. Let me put some football in it real quick. Okay. One of the differences that we'll see is that San Francisco won't be successful running the ball the same way they did before, because Dallas is making some changes. I kind of mentioned some the week before, and they made some again this week too. And so it's a movement of Parsons, that's one, and also it's where they placing the linebackers and stuff like that. So actually they can get more movement. I keep watching the defensive line to kind of see what they're doing. See, the reason why the defensive line is not making that many plays, because the interior linemen are not rushing to make a play. They're placeholders. So they're keeping the guys right on the line. So they're not pushing real far field. They're not supposed to push too far, more than a half a yard up the field. I'm watching them. This is a coaching technique. I want to see what they was doing. Plus, we keep wondering. Remember, I asked that question: what are the defensive linemen are doing? Why are they not penetrate? Well, the coach don't really want them to, because the way he keep playing them, they actually move along the line and keep up. They're supposed to keep the linebackers free, but the linebackers are new linebackers, and they haven't been reading well. And so they haven't been taking advantage. So the coach moved them to a different position so they can have a better reading position, can take advantage of their speed and run down a little bit more. So now they're running a little bit down. They protect them a little bit more. And then they're also doing something special where they allow Parsons to be on the same side as your light boy Bale a little bit too, to kind of protect him. So if they do something double, at least Bale a chance to make some plays as well too, as well as Parsons being able to jump some stuff as well.
Tim.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me finish up. So with that power, because Dallas has two big linemen, defensive tackles that are tough. Those linemen can do it as long as they don't play too high. And so they got tough enough linemen on the interior when Haskins is playing. And also the young boy, Smith, is okay as long as he ain't trying to, because he don't make plays up the field. He plays over and he runs straight down the line. He really don't get pushed off the line. He don't get driven back. He plays right on the line. You can push him sideways, but you don't push him back. So they have good enough interior linemen to actually place the thing up as long as they play strategically. And so if their coach plays strategically, he make the right calls, they're going to be all right. And I trust their defensive coordinator. He's a good coach. He'll figure it out. I
Tim,
promise
let
you.
me just say this.
Wait a minute, DA. Hold on, what you got to say real quick. Hold on to that thought. I want to read a couple of chats out right quick because we know I say Curtis, my man Curtis, man, like he right with
Oh,
you.
you
DA.
know me and Medlock. That's right.
Man. But I'm talking about my man Willie Drake. He talking about, I'm gonna put his comment up here, man. We getting hit all the way from the 314. This is St. Louis, man. This cat talking about, boo, Dallas is gonna let you down like always. And when it happens, I'm gonna be a guest on the replay.
Come on, Willie. Let's go, Willie. Let's go, Willie. No.
Give you a little backdrop to this old joker right here that's talking about boo. Because first and foremost, what he's not saying, y'all, is that he's an Eagle fan. So I know he got misery right now. Misery loves company. So I don't know why he even chatting out right now, because I don't know them Eagle Beagles, man. I mean, they might as well go jump off a bridge somewhere because they won and done. They going down and Baker Mayfield gonna handle business with and put them out their misery. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, DA, go ahead on what you was about to say.
Real quick, hey, back to that. I mean, real quick on that Philly game, but Philly got the easiest team they could have gotten, you know, as a first round matchup. But anyway, we'll discuss that later. Me and Medlock been down with the Niners since you know when. So you know we
conspiracy two
we
or
got
more.
that history. But Tim, y'all ain't the only one who make adjustments, man. You keep talking about these adjustments. We make adjustments. We'll make
but we talk about
adjustments.
the weakness. But we talk about the weakness of Dallas, though. But go ahead about San Francisco.
All we, like I've been saying the whole year, all we got to do is find Micah wherever he line up. Go put a helmet on him, and it's gonna be easy. He's the only.
That's what I'm talking about. So
he's the only dog y'all got.
That's a strategy that's changed. Watch it. You'll see.
Wait a minute, Tim. I got to address something that DA said earlier regarding, because he's saying I'm like playing the laws of averages, so to speak. Like we just like we're sitting there, you know, basically tossing rocks
like
into a river stream or something like that.
Yeah.
No, what I'm talking about, personnel versus personnel. You keep talking about how physical you all are. I don't think you all are more physical than Dallas. Now, I will give you this. Hold on for a second. I will give you this. Not on your front four, but I will give you this. Your linebackers, Greenlaw and Fred Warner, them, they play better in the middle of your defense, better than our defense. That's where you really win the game at, okay? And I stated earlier, I said this is about individuals like Michael Parsons them. See, they scheme blocking. You're right. Credit to Mike Shanahan. I mean, not Mike Shanahan, but Kyle Shanahan. Credit to him. They're scheming him and getting him out of position because he's getting double and triple block. Now, if he's getting double team and triple team, then my question is, where's the rest of you jokers, right?
That's my question.
Then frustration sets in on the defense, and people start to get out of their lanes, and a lot of stuff starts. So I'm telling you, man, I've been in these situations before. So it's not about, you know, San Francisco being more physical all across the board. I'll give you a player here or there. It's just a matter of the Dallas playing with more focus and being more disciplined in what they're trying to do and execute. Because the offense ain't really butchering Dallas like that. You all get key turnovers here and there, something that we do at the house, but hadn't really done on the road. And the case in fact, it happened when we played y'all early in the season, whereas you got Fred Farmer coming way over there and he punching the ball out with his fist. These kind of things. So you got to match them. Clark and them have to match, you know, one of them in the middle of the field. I mean, they got to match that intensity, man. And they don't do that when we line up against the 49ers. Herein lies the problem. So that's what I'm talking about more than anything. And the laws of averages that you're speaking about, I'm simply saying that mano to mano as a man, if I faced you a number of times, if you're worth your ilk, your salt, whatever you want to call it, at some point, I have to do my homework against you and say I got to win out today. That's not no pipe dream, DA. That's just you can apply that in basketball, football, hockey, golf, whatever you want to do. At some point, I'm saying, hey man, I'm tired of taking these butt whoopings. So I think that the laws of average, the percentages will break out and say, when we face y'all again, if y'all get there, that's if they don't see the video of Nebo Samuel. If they don't see that video and they go out to him, I think we're going to be in the AFC Championship game and we're going to slap y'all the way the Baltimore Ravens did. But let me go back over to these comments right quick because they come in right now. They saying, I got Trig Tech _ text that says, let me put it up there. If Dallas makes it to the Super Bowl, which AFC team do y'all think would be the toughest opponent for them to play? Who you think, TJ?
It wouldn't matter. If they make it to the Super Bowl, it don't matter who they play. Because when you go to the game, I don't care who you playing. You play to win. So if you make it to the Super Bowl, you was good enough to make it to the Super Bowl on the other side. So whichever AFC team to come, they the best team on the AFC. I don't really give a care who it is. You gonna play them and you gonna whoop their butt. That's how we do.
Right on. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this in the voice of my guy. You know, I can't think his name right now because he's talking about Dallas. The Super Bowl? You mean the Super Bowl? I get this how, you know, Draco trying to say it, man. He's in the 314, y'all. He's a bomb, though, because he come back talking about, you know, bro, I'm not expecting to win this year. My secondary is terrible. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, they keep moving the goalposts on us, TJ. They keep moving the goalposts on us. Now he's talking about his
being honest. He being honest.
I've been saying that for what you say for the last 6 weeks. Let's not forget I won last between Dallas and Philadelphia. See, that's reaching. And you know, they weren't talking about them. They were talking about all I heard was big play Slay. Remember that, TJ? Big Slay. Say, man, look here, man. You keep crying, what the baby gonna do? Don't pull the baby out with the bathwater. I don't know what. Talk it over. Hey man, talk it over with management. Talk it over to all these people. When y'all went and got what's the safety from Tennessee? Bayard. They went and got Bayard from Tennessee. They went and got when they drafted Jalen Carter. When they went and got the linebacker Shaquille Lawson. I mean, what was all this then? Oh man, you know the Eagles, man. What is Jerry Jones doing in the gym? They signing all these players and they getting better than the Cowboys. In the words of my man Bubba Dub, trash. They ain't doing nothing.
Can I answer his question?
Go ahead, DA.
I want to answer his question. He's asking about what team on the other side, you know, be our toughest maybe in the Super Bowl. I think Kansas City beats y'all. Buffalo beats you.
Buffalo will win again.
Ravens beat you. Buffalo is probably going to be the hardest out on the AFC side. I think all three of those teams can beat y'all.
All of them can. Actually, you know, any team in the playoff can.
Would be favored to beat y'all.
But DA, let me ask you.
They won't win. Buffalo won't win.
But do you think that the way CD, I mean, to me, arguably the best receiver right now, especially within the last few weeks we've seen, the way he's playing now, right? You know, and the way Dak is playing right now, and the way this young kid Ferguson have come on with the tight end position. Running game, it still has a little work to do, but they're getting better. They're getting better. Do you think that if we were to play anybody in the AFC, that we wouldn't give them no problems either? See, any given Sunday, we know anything can happen. But I believe in the Cowboys just like a Raven fan should believe in the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when I posted out about the 49ers, right? I said, you know, it's amazing how the 49ers haven't hosted the trophy since 1994. I ain't talking about being there. I ain't talking about, I don't go to all that.
You can't host it if you ain't been there.
They haven't hosted that trophy. And I'm simply saying
in the bowl. How you gonna host it if you ain't even in the bowl, right? Yeah, y'all haven't even been there.
But you can't host if you don't win either.
But it don't matter. If you don't get there, you can't win it.
It does matter if you don't win it.
But I'm saying if you don't get there,
only one team winning the season. One.
No, if you don't get there, it ain't possible to win it. How you gonna win it if you ain't in it?
Ask Buffalo, they lost 4.
But they had
they don't have one
there. They were there.
Yeah, but they ain't won.
I'm saying you can't win it if you ain't in it.
Hold on. Let's rationalize this though.
Y'all can't get there. No.
It's not win it. Listen. All you all did when you get to the Super Bowl is that you was number 31 because there are 32 teams, right? You was number 31. So whether if you lost in the first round, second round, or the third round, I'm saying at the end of the day, you want to bring home the championship.
Well, you gave Washington credit for making it to the championship, and you gave them their props. But when the pros, if you make it to the Super Bowl, you don't get no props. Is that what you're saying? Because if y'all get there and lose,
that's not
y'all gonna be saying, "Well, at least we made it." I know Cowboy fans. At least we made it. At least we made it. I know y'all. Y'all flip the script every time.
No.
Every time.
Let me say this about me.
You got me wrong. I don't like losing.
Not me. I'm not. No, I'm telling you. If I go to the big dance, I want to win. I I don't want to. Ain't no consolations. We came in.
But how you gonna win if you don't get there? How you gonna win if you don't get there?
Well, I'm just simply saying though. At the end of the day, it's not about just going. It's about bringing home the trophy. I'm just simply saying when you look at the Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboys,
well, that remains to be seen because it's 2024.
No, I'm saying you got to get to the Super Bowl in order to attempt.
Remains to be seen. It's 2024.
You can't hoist it from the couch at home doing Super Bowl Sunday.
And can't none of us host it from right here while we're doing it right now.
No, I ain't talking about us. I'm talking about
the playoffs. It's the playoffs now.
No, I'm saying you can't hoist the trophy if you with your home. I'm talking about the Cowboys team cannot hoist a trophy.
The pass
from a sports bar.
From the past?
Y'all got to get there.
You talking about the past?
You haven't been there.
5. You talking about the past?
Well, we don't want to talk about that because we got 5. So that ain't the conversation.
Hey, who else got 5? So only one of the team have more. So we can talk about it if you want to talk about the past. So that's why I'm going to past.
Everything is the past. Everything is the past.
What's that?
Everything is the past. Well, why are we even talking about yesterday? Everything is the past.
Yeah, because we can replay. We're talking about the most recent pass, not the foregone pass. So that's what you're talking about. Most recent pass is what we get on. The replay is about the recent pass.
let me remind everybody, this is the replay. This is episode 19, and you on live with us. See, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. We were talking about the college football national champion, Michigan Wolverines, going up against the Huskies last night. But we on this segment right here talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and somehow or another we done got into the whole history because I brought up the fact that they keep talking about how Dallas haven't won. And I'm not talking about getting there. I'm talking about winning it. Most of the time you hear these pundits talking, they talk about how the Cowboys haven't won the Super Bowl. Not getting there, winning the Super Bowl. That's what I'm talking about. But like I said before, at least we're valued at almost $10 billion as a franchise. And Jerry Jones is definitely getting paid for his headache. But let me come over to the chat real quick, man, because I seen something a second ago that somebody shouted, my man Josh Stevenson. He got a shout out to Matlock. He said Matlock haven't even played competitive football in his life. I don't know. Blow he might chat out on that, but he said so in other words, Blow, man, you ain't qualified. So let me take that back down. But anyway, guys, let's check this out, man. We know we gotta wrap this up in just a second on this particular issue. But all I'm gonna say is this, man. I am looking forward, man. If the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers were to meet in an NFC championship. Because I truly believe it's gonna be a difference. I believe the way CD Lamb is playing right now, man, he's playing lights out. They don't have an answer for that boy. They just don't. The way Mike McCarthy is calling the plays and moving them around and getting everybody involved, and these young boys stepping up like a Jalen Tolbert, man. I just think, man, they got I think the greatest opportunity to go up there to San Francisco, just like in 1992 when Big Nate Newton said, "We going up the Candlestick and we gonna rock." I feel like this is Dallas' year, man. So we talked about it last week, DA. If the curse was lifted, we shall see.
Jabril, real quick, 15 seconds. All it's gonna take me. You ain't got a Nate Newton, a Michael Irvin, an Emmitt Smith, a Troy Aikman. You ain't got a Eric Williams or whoever. You don't have any of that on the offensive side. Those boys were tough, and I'm telling you. They were tough mentally, physically, and they would bust you across your head back then. You ain't got that now. Come on, man. You got some finesse, finesse. CD's good. He's finesse. You ain't got that toughness like you had back then.
You leaving out Ferguson. Ferguson coming up. You see Ferguson play? Ferguson, hey, he letting you know. He got a little swag, too. Y'all better think about Ferguson. You sit up there talking about all the other guys. Ferguson bringing it. He coming up talking about, hey, what's my name? I'm a young fella coming along. I'm gonna bring that little swag, boy.
He ain't bad.
When somebody comes, Ferguson he stick his chest out. You better watch out. Somebody shows up that you don't realize shows up, and then after he shows up, then you say, oh man, he do got that little bit. Ferguson got some of it. Better watch out. Ferguson got some.
I'll say this, Sherry. Sherry. She rode my AFC team. over there, and she said that Steelers gonna beat the Buffalo Bills, and if she do, she's gonna host a Super Bowl party. So we might have to hold her to that, TJ. But anyway, y'all
Mm-hmm.
know we gotta get to this next segue real quick, man. And everybody's talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it. But we gotta pivot over here, man, to this Cat Williams uh conversation that he had on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp about a week ago, and the thing broke the internet, man. We talking about almost 40 million views. 40 million views, man, on this thing. And when I went back, man, I listened to it twice actually, because he's spilling the beans. He spilt the beans, we should say. And man, he went into it, man, talking about any and almost everybody who have anything to do with being a comedian. So DA, I'm gonna come to you first, man. What was your take on it? I know you looked at it. Chime in on this, my brother.
Jabril, Tim, man, I'm probably gonna give a take that I ain't really seen. I've seen thousands of people talk about it, comment on it, give their opinion on it, but I ain't seen. My take is gonna be totally different than even probably y'all. I really, I didn't like it, man. I don't like the whole. I don't like the whole industry, basically. I don't like the fact that um like comedians or whoever can go on a show and just air out all this dirty laundry, and then we just all those millions of views wanna. I just don't like it, man. See, I got a different take on it. I didn't. I don't. I think he was transparent. I could feel like the honesty and a lot of stuff he was saying, and some people given receipts of what he was saying. There's always his truth, somebody else's truth, and then sometimes a lot of times it's in the middle. I don't think he told the truth about everything, because he lied about reading 3,000 books a year. That's impossible to do. And a couple other things I think he did a little exaggeration, but for the most part, I felt like he was truthful. But I just don't like it, man. I just don't like everything we do causes us to just be battling. Now everybody's out there, you know what I mean? It's just I didn't like it. I watched the interview, and it was just sad to me. Like the overall, after you thought about everything, he said this, he said that, and then all the people watching and all the people coming, I just think it's a big waste of time. Man, that's really
Well,
my take on it.
let me bring this up
I just gotta that's my take,
to
man.
give
It's a big waste of time.
to give a little background. Let me bring this up.
Place for the truth to be told. You know what I mean? And I have watched all of these lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face and tell you straight up lies. I'm talking about things that have never been heard in all of Black Hollywood. They feel comfortable sitting here lying to you about it. You gonna set the record straight? Are you kidding me? You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Cat Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike, and Cat Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now let's 3 quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man? Well, I didn't know he shouldn't be able. You wouldn't let a athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
He couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he
Sir, no one, why no? He was with KD. He beat up Terry Crews. Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and he, what?
Okay, that's just part of it, DA. I don't know if you got a chance to see that or not.
Yeah,
but he
I
just
saw.
basically he just basically allowed other, you know, comedians to go on the Shannon Sharp Club Shay Shay before him, like the Steve Harveys, the Ricky Smileys, the Cedric, the entertainers, and he wanted to set the record straight because he said what they was doing. Hold on. What they was talking about, what they was doing was putting things out there, which it can muddy the waters a little bit because he said he's a writer. So it's like you're trying to take credit for something that never happened. So go ahead.
Well, one quick thing about what he just said, he wasn't all the way truthful about that because Ice Cube and Ricky Smiley's manager said Ricky Smiley was to play the pimp. That was the role he came to audition for, and he was getting the role. And after Cat Williams came and auditioned for it, they said, nope, Ricky can't have this. Cat Williams has to be this pimp. And they called Ricky and told Ricky, we're not gonna allow you to be the pimp in this movie. Now you're gonna play the Santa Claus. So Ricky did.
I listened to Ice Cube's response, and I listened to Ricky Smiley when he brought his manager, and they both, acknowledged that after Cat Williams went and did what he did, and he modified the script as he talked about, because originally said Money Mike got raped in the bathroom. He said, "No, you can't do that." You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not saying that Ricky Smiley lied within the context of what he was trying to say, but I think it came out wrong.
Yeah,
if you want to, you know what I'm saying, it's how he executed, because I think what Cat was just basically saying that after 200 some comedians went before him, he knocked it out of the park, and that role was solidified that it was going to be Money Mike. So I'm not saying Ricky Smiley was wrong in what he said. I just don't think he executed the right way. But Tim, you say what?
Yeah, I was getting to the both their conversations. So for Ricky Smiley's position, he went in, he had opportunity, he thought he was going to get that role. Okay, but it was a whole lot of people auditioning. Remember, it's casting, so it's a lot of people auditioning, and a lot of times everybody think they're gonna get the role until it's finally announced. So it's still not a finality to it. So he was confident that he's gonna get the role. Right.
Yes.
And then
he was told he was gonna get the role.
Right. Then Cat came in, he won the role. So for him, he doesn't have a perspective that Ricky Smiley is getting that role, because when he came in audition, he took over the role. So for him, there was nobody else from his position that actually anybody else was going to get that role but him. Because when you audition, they ain't telling him that Ricky Smiley got the role. They tell him, hey, come audition. So when he come in, he took over the role and he won it, and that's it. So for his perspective, no, he don't know anything about Ricky Smiley getting that role. He know from what they saw that they say, oh yeah, we thinking about probably Ricky Smiley playing Santa Claus or something, right? So from his perspective, when he talked to Ice Cube Nib, they're not letting him know that Ricky Smiley had a possibility in that role. They moved him immediately over to the other role. So for him, that is the truth for him. That's why people speak their truth. It's not always congruent with somebody else's truth, because it's a different angle of the same information, right? So the thing I took from the whole situation was that he was speaking his truth versus some other people who actually was sometimes not speaking the truth and sometimes disingenuously making sure they misrepresent some things as well too. There's some guys on purpose misrepresenting things because they don't want people to know certain things about their lives. And so they're trying to keep things over, so they gloss over, and they got so used to telling the same story over and over, and then nobody was actually telling what the real truth happened in their story, that they thought they could get away with it. And like Steve Harvey and some of his stories, and those guys are coming in and saying, okay, no, that's not exactly true. These are some information that was going on behind the scenes. Now, I will say this part before you go into the next thing, is that that it is kind of scary when you're in a group of people, and this is why you got to be comfortable being who you are and don't be playing games, because when there's a group of people that can see what you're doing, you better be comfortable with what you're doing, because there's somebody that can tell that story all times. So be careful what you're doing in the dark. Don't think it can't come to the light. He can come
Yeah.
to the light.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Yeah, I think you know what. Here's the deal, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. When they go back into the archive and they show like Steve Harvey, as Mark Carrier came on and said how he stole basically his career almost to the extent to where I never even saw the picture until recently, where he got the suit on with the tie up like this here, and Mark Carrier has a suit on with the tie up like this here, and they put photos side by side. Or certain jokes that was told about the brown cardboard box, or the joke where Cedric the Entertainer modified it with the spaceship, or what Cat Williams had already said. I think at the end of the day, listen, plagiarism is plagiarism. Whether if you try to sample it, remix it, or whatever you try to do, kind of like when Pharrell and
Music industry.
in the music industry, right? When Pharrell and my guy they lost the lawsuit. Robin Thicke, they lost the lawsuit, right? Because they took a bass line from Marvin Gaye's song, right, and didn't want to pay
Yep.
up, right? And they know that they took this man's music. What I'm saying is that you would think, and I give a prime example. You would think that Escape is the one who originated and sung "Who Do You Run To." You would think that. But if you come around in the 80s, everybody know the late 70s, 80s, well, everybody know that's the Jones Girls. But now I don't know how many times, if any, I'm quite sure they mention it, but it's kind of like one of those things like, yeah, the Jones Girls sung it, but we made it out. We did it, our version better than them. It's not about that. It's about you paying homage and respect. And I think what Cat is really saying, look, man, I gave y'all a pass, and I gave y'all a pass like 10 years, whatever it was, those years and within that window. And y'all still, with this cliquish thing y'all got going on, y'all still disrespect what it is that my work that I'm doing. Because he said even with that joke, Mark Carrier had to help him punch up that joke. He said that's like your closing joke. That's like your bread and butter. That's your, that's your hit him out the park kind of joke. So when someone take that, it would be no different if someone took a song, a classic now, and butcher that song like they do sometime with the national anthem, if you will.
Yeah.
Everybody can't get up and sing the national anthem, right? But I think that's what Cat is saying more than anything is just acknowledge me, just acknowledge that, hey, man, great joke, man. I want to borrow that, man. It's just like paying sampling fees. I want to borrow that joke, man. Maybe I can do a little bit better. Maybe I can't. Don't get me wrong. I like what Cedric Entertainer did, how he mixed it and made it his and took it into space. But underneath it, when he come out and he says the timeline don't match up. See, that's what rubbed Cat Williams wrong. What you mean the timeline don't? You came to the Comic View. You said in the audience, man, you saw me do this joke. And this is the kind of stuff where I don't agree with, man, because y'all know that man material was that man's material. But you say what, DA? Well, hold on before you say that, DA. Let me get into the chat real quick, man, because they chatting out, man. Sherry, she just wanted to know because she asked the question to you, DA. You might want to address it. She said, setting the record straight unnecessary. Was the book reading really a lie? Is it possible if he lived in a library 8 hours a day for a year because he was homeless? Good point, Sherry. What you say? What to that though, DA?
You can. Yeah, you can.
And it wasn't 1 year anyway. It was actually over 3 years span he spoke. But go ahead.
No, he said I read 3,000 books in 1 year. But anyway, if you live in a library and you reading 24 hours, I mean, if anybody can do that, then yeah, I get it. You can make the math right, but it's 3,000 books, and if you do the math on it, no, that's not happening unless you're reading 4-page books, 5-page books.
Or you're a speed reader.
Is he speed reader?
You can do it too.
No,
speed
reading.
that.
I mean,
yeah, speed reader you can do it.
I mean, that's
no problem.
DA. I agree. That's.
But,
I mean,
man, my point is, this is my point. Those dudes, some of them, maybe a lot of them lied on Cat Williams or some things that happened. Cat Williams came and he's like, okay, it's time for me to set the record straight. And he did that in a lot of cases. That don't mean everything Cat Williams said was true. Like, he's capable of lying or embellishing just like everybody else.
Oh yes, he definitely embellishes.
Yeah,
we
I'm saying
agree with that.
I don't have a problem with Cat Williams. I like Cat Williams. I don't have a problem with Steve. I don't have a problem with none of them. I just don't like the whole, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, and this is something even different from not just that interview. It's like, man, I'm just getting tired of all of this kind of stuff. Like everything we do now is to divide us. Like whose side you got? Whose side you got? That's all I'm saying. I just
let me take it a step
Let me
further,
bring this
DA.
something up right quick before y'all. Let me bring this
Okay.
something up.
Okay.
Is a lie.
So why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie. And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Cat Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up.
Let me say this while it's pulling up. When it pulls up outside.
Hold on.
You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Cat Williams in there.
I don't know, Cat. We might not let you drink anymore. The way I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol.
Okay, Tim, you wanted to say something during that video, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was trying to further on for what DA was talking about and kind of hit another thing that they was talking about as well too. The Cat went into, and that was the whole industry and his whole part, right? So kind of going further on about what's that minutia that's going on in the industry where everybody wearing a dress, that part, right? And you get into everybody's wearing a dress and how they're trying to emasculate the black man in these situations. A lot of black men when they first started, they don't know the difference. Now we know better, right? They was playing that, they was being funny and being jokes and all that kind of stuff, and so they was playing characters, and as an actor, I can see them wanting to play a character. But then we get to that point now when guys say no, that's when it's a problem. You all of a sudden you see, whoa. When I say no, all of a sudden you trying to force me to do it. See, that's when you really know that they're trying to force you to do so. And then now we're at a stage now we're more knowing, we have more information. And so a lot of guys, we now know that actually they're doing it on purpose. And so now going forward, to me, that's when we start to really look at what's going on a little bit now. I'm going to give a little pass for some of the past, except for the ones who already knew. There are some guys who knew that actually they had to in order to go to the next step. And that's probably presented to them in that way as well. And so that's a sad part about that industry, that they do things to actually say, hey, in order for you to make this money, you got to do X, Y, and Z. And that's sad because they're doing it to us and that we don't have enough power and control to we can actually create our thing before. We think about, you talk about the 70s, right? You talk about black exploitation. Well, if you think about what was going on, we were running a lot of those productions and we was doing a lot of those stuff, from Billy, Fred Williamson, the Hammer, play football, call him the Hammer, bring a little bit of football into the situation. He actually produced a lot of those movies back in the day. So that was control of that thing they want to call black exploitation, where we were actually running the whole situation, producing and directing, and also like Mario Van Peebles, and stuff like that. Not his dad, Melvin. So when we go into that, we have a lot of situations where we was running things, and now we're not running all the production. That's why we like the Wayans, because they was running some stuff. But then they fell breed because actually they're doing it on their own, where they actually dressing as women. So for them, they're not even think about it. Just to give another side, they're not even think about it how it emasculate the man to do so, because they looking for jokes and fun, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean we just can't go out and just judge the whole thing that men are doing it and it's just forced, because sometimes we're choosing it and we're not really paying attention to what it does to our community. And so we got to be more community conscious of what goes on, and not just for fun and not for laughter.
Well, I'll say this, man, and that's the point well taken, Tim. And I'll just say this before we have to wrap this particular part of the segment up on the Culture Show. And for those of you who are just coming on, join us. This is the Replay Sports Culture Show. We're going to ask you if you would go ahead and hit the subscribe, like, and share button. We appreciate it. We're trying to grow the channel. But let me just say this. You use the word emasculation, and I always think about when you start talking about the black man, so to speak, when have it been a time in this country when they haven't been trying to emasculate us, whether they've done it physically or symbolically, right? And this is what's been going on in Hollywood. This is why I'm proud of individuals like the Dave Chappelle's or the Cat Williams and those who rebutted that idea, right? I think many of us remember when Sports Illustrated put out there Ricky Williams and Mike Dicker. And my question always was now and even back then, I said, then if it was so important that this thing was supposed to have been a marriage made in heaven when he drafted him to the New Orleans Saints, then why couldn't Mike Dicker put the dress on and Ricky Williams put the tuxedo on? See, that in and of itself was a problem to me way back then. I still percolate with that feeling because this is what a part of the agenda, the black men in this country to try to emasculate us in one way or the other. So, I do applaud individual like a Cat Williams who come out and speak against individuals who have put the dress on. As he was talking about with Kevin Hart, on one hand, you said you would never wear the dress, but then you go on Saturday Night Live and you got the dress on. Well, that's a big contradiction. But I also do concur and agree with Daryl when he speaks about the disunity that it causes when we go out there and we continue to tear each other down. You wish something like this could have been talked about behind closed doors and collectively someone come together to say, hey, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. What's interesting, people be dropping salt, man, and that's just in us from tribalism. I talked about this, many months ago, talking about it's something that we just did that the Europeans didn't have a part in when we was on the continent of Africa. That's a fact. And we talked about that briefly because tribalism was a thing that was amongst, ourselves, this jealousy that's created in us. Because if Africa was all once Asiatic black, as they say, then who enslaved the pharaohs was enslaving the Hebrews. So we can talk about the history of this thing, but we got to get collectively together and get that up out of us because somebody will have a role. Like he said, if Steve Harvey went behind Bernie Mac to call up the people to say, hey, man, I want that movie role in Ocean, y'all remember
13.
the movie?
Ocean
Yeah,
11.
yeah.
It's 13.
If he did
13.
Ocean 13, I'm saying, and if he did that, come on, shame on you, Steve, because I'm saying Bernie already had a complex as far as his, his skin pigmentation, if you will, because he felt like he was a little bit dark and they just didn't want him. We all know Bernie is one of the most funniest brothers naturally off the dome that stand-up comics there ever was. So, if he's trying to break into Hollywood and this was one of his big opportunities, you don't do that. You just don't do that. So there's a lot of little different moving parts to this thing, man. But I wanted to talk about it because, like I said, we don't just talk about sports. As I always say, we talk about the culture part of this thing, and this is what we're about. I'm going to read one last chat from the comments here regarding this topic. I'm gonna go back to the 314. My man Drake, he said he also spoke about other comedians dressing and female, but he forgot in his early stand-up show when he said that his hair was voluptuous boo-boo. So, I don't know if you can compare the same thing as somebody trying to emasculate you, but it's a lot of feminine qualities that some guys have. As long as you don't let the femininity outrule the masculinity, then you don't have a problem in and of itself. So, guys, we got to go ahead, man. So much more to say about this topic, man, but we touched on it. But we got to get into the next thing we're talking about because the college season is all over with. And DA, we're going to go ahead. Jeff couldn't make it this evening, our boy, but shout out to our brother, Jeff Booker. But we got to shout Tim out, man. He won the regular season picks, man, on the NFL. So I clap it up for my boy. I clap it up, man. I still think I need to go back and archive and do what Donald Trump did, man. I need to recount.
Yeah, man. It's election fraud.
I understand. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard following a champ.
Jabril, all we need to find is 5
shadow.
wins.
You know what I'm saying? But it's okay. Hey, in my shadow, you guys are with me. So, you ain't just in my shadow. I bring you with me. So if I win the championship, you won the championship. You with me. Y'all my team. That's all I gotta say. I love it.
We got our first NFL playoffs coming up this weekend, man. So I'm gonna let you do the honors, man, and let's get into these picks, man, before we close out this segment here on the replay.
Okay, let's roll with it. First one on the docket. These are not in order of when they playing. I just got them. We got Cleveland going down to H-Town.
Ooh.
Play the Texans.
That's gonna be a good game.
Ooh.
because Houston plays well at home. But Cleveland been hot.
Good one, man.
They even rested some people.
Man, as much as I want to go with Houston, man, and I don't know if Sherry's still on here, but they invading your backyard, Sherry. I don't know, Sherry. You want to shout out and give us a pick on that? I want to go with Houston, man, but I just think Cleveland defense, man, the experience of Joe Flacco, man. I think they will prevail in this game, so I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
I like that coach. I like DeMeco Ryans, Houston coach. I like what he's been doing, man. He's been doing some special stuff over there, man. And that quarterback, he's been playing well, been showing up. But I'm gonna go
Denzel
with
Ward.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Stingley? You mean Stingley played with the Texans?
Yeah, I'm talking about quarterback for Texas. One came out of Ohio State.
I thought you said cornerback. My fault.
No, I mean quarterback. I'm sorry.
Man, I'm gonna take Houston, man. I'm gonna go with the hometown magic and the clock striking 12 on Flacco. So I'm gonna roll with the Texans. Me and Sherry, I'm down with you this weekend. We going with them Texans. The Cleveland boys gonna come down in that dome where they ain't outside in that cold weather and that snow, and we gonna show them how it's done.
Hey, let me
fun.
So I'm gonna let Sherry gonna get her. She gonna get her pick in. She picking the Texans too.
Of
so
course.
She down with the Texans.
Gotcha.
It's on the record. Who you got next?
Miami at KC.
You can pick first too, DA. Just because you calling out don't mean you can't pick first. Just let you know.
Yeah, I pick them all first.
Because you're always waiting. You said then you pause. I'm just saying
I can pick them all first, Tim. Miami at Kansas City. I don't like this Miami team. I don't like the little smart alecky coach with all the gimmicks. It's playoff time. It ain't gimmick time. I got Kansas City at home.
You know what? And I'm gonna follow suit, man. I'm gonna follow suit with you, D. I'm gonna take KC.
Okay.
Yep, we all got KC.
Pittsburgh at Buffalo.
Pittsburgh at Buffalo. I'm gonna let Sherry go on this. Sherry, shout us out. Who you think gonna win that, Sherry? I already know she gonna shout out. I don't know if I'm just messing with her. Oh, Draco from 314. He like KC in that. He only saying that because he from the state of Missouri, man.
All right.
He said, and he like Buffalo. You know what, man? Yeah, this is a hard pick. It is. I'm going to acknowledge it. It's a hard pick for me. I'm going with them Steelers, man. It's a hard pick. I know y'all. I'm going.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going Buffalo. I love Pittsburgh Steelers coach because he just keep winning every season. He wins, right? He just keep having a winning season every season. That boy just doing it. But I'm going Buffalo.
Right. I actually think Buffalo is the only team that can give Ravens a run for their money. So I'm definitely going Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo until they meet up with them boys from Baltimore.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put Sherry up there. She said it was an upset. It's gonna be an upset by the Steelers.
Okay.
I'm just going with my heart. It's a hard pick. I'm just telling you. I mean,
gotcha.
Really, but if I was putting money on, I got to go with Buffalo. But that's
right.
But hey, grew up on the Steelers too,
especially at Buffalo. Especially at Buffalo. Okay, Philly at Tampa. That's the Monday night game. But Philly at Tampa.
No, hold on, sir. I want to see Willie Draco from the 314. Philadelphia going to Tampa Bay. I want to hear him shout out honestly. Who did he like in that doggone game up there in Tampa, Florida? Who you like, Willie Draco from the 314? We gonna wait for you, brother.
While he waiting, I'm gonna analyze a couple of things.
Yeah.
It's funny that that Philly can't seem to wake up. Will they wake up for the Tampa Bay game? Will they stay asleep? Or they gonna come? Because some people say, "Oh yeah, they sleeping and they just waiting until they get to the playoff, and now they gonna turn it on." Right? It remains to be seen. So can they turn it on? And Will Todd Bowles, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who keep 3 years in a row, he's won the South. 3 years in a row, he's done that. And so that's a good thing for him to start off his career. Can he win a playoff game against this Philadelphia Eagle team? All right, we still waiting.
Draco got it in. He say, but this is why I say they need to start checking people, man, for drug use and all this. Cause he say Philadelphia all day, baby. See, he's a dreamer, man. I can't. He's a dreamer, but that's okay, man. That's okay. I'll tell you. I'm telling you. In the words of my man Samuel Jackson in that movie, must be some powerful. I mean, he got Philadelphia, but anyway, man, I know he's hopeful, man. But anyway, I like. I'm going with Tampa Bay, man. I'm going with Tampa Bay.
I got I like I said, man, Philly was fortunate to get to play against probably the weakest team in the NFC playoffs, I believe. And I think Philly's gonna pull it out against Tampa Bay this weekend. Away from home. They need to be away from home because they fans are brutal. So I think they'll play better at Tampa.
You're probably right about that. I think they'll just have enough. They'll wake up just enough. Not a lot. I think they'll wake up with one eye open, and that's enough to beat Tampa Bay. One eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, one eye. You know what? I mean, I can see you guys pick. I can see Baker Mayfield actually getting rattled. You know what I'm saying? Some might wake up a sleeping giant in them, but I just don't think you can. Even if they got past Tampa Bay, they still gonna lose in the second round. Because I just don't think they got too many.
Is Jalen's finger okay?
And I think
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken,
I don't know.
Jalen hurt.
That's another subject,
finger, right?
Yeah, on his throwing hand.
I think
he was showing that finger. I ain't gonna show the finger he was showing, but he was showing that finger. That finger was all kind of.
It was all twisted.
Yeah.
So,
but they ain't making a big deal out of it. So I guess
because it's not because he can still grip the ball. It wasn't this one.
Right.
It wasn't this one right here.
Right.
So you have these two right here. You have these two, and you have this
one. Of your ex-teammates, Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator. So I like he can drop some really some complex blitzes and schemes. So I'm like I said, I'm gonna stay with my pick with Tampa Bay. But what we got next coming up, man? We're gonna get to them balls.
Rams at Detroit.
Rams in Detroit.
Okay.
T, I'm gonna let you do the honors, man, on that first.
Okay. This is a really tough game. This is gonna be really challenging. Rams coming in as the hot team. They even won with their second team, right, against San Francisco. So they played their second team, but they weren't playing their hot players. So they rested quite a few players. So they're gonna come in rested. Detroit said, "Hey, forget all that noise. We bringing the noise. We're gonna play every game because we don't back down. We come forward. I don't care if it's the second, we got to move back 5 yards, 10 yards. We still going for 2. Oh, that's the other game. That's what they think. So they have this aggressive mentality because of their coach. And remember, people talk about their coaches. They was coming through, right? Would he be that aggressive? Would he be that that strong arm? Would this be successful? Being this type of mannerism, having this type of energy, would he be successful at it? Hey, he's turned that team around, and they playing like he does, right? But St. Louis is, the LA Rams. We're talking about St. Louis. Rams are actually a hot team.
Yeah,
right?
Please make that correction because we don't. We understand that St. Louis, the city of St. Louis, don't have no football team. You hear me, Draco?
Don't have one.
The city of St. Louis don't have no football team. That's why you way over in Philadelphia. No, we're not giving you no pass on the replay. So go ahead, Tim. I appreciate you making that correction, Tim. We're not trying to give
definitely have to make it quick.
on purpose all over with.
so in that, this is a tough one for me because which team plays better? So I'm actually going to go because one team plays another team better. I'm going to go for the Rams against Detroit.
Man, go ahead, DA. You gonna follow back?
Yeah, I'm ready. I don't like Detroit's coach because I think he's arrogant to a fault sometimes. Like the things he did in the Cowboy game, where if you're smart and you possibly win that game, you don't have to play your starters last Sunday where you get your one of your main receivers, your tight end, Laporta hurt, so it's like this happens because you weren't able to sit this dude because you were so egotistical against Cowboys that, you know what I'm saying? So I don't like the way his way of thinking. And I don't like that a coach can't just sometimes say, yeah, man, I made a mistake, man. I probably should have kicked that extra point. Like we human. Like if you can't just say, man, I think we might have, looking back, I might have done something different. But anyway, saying all that, I just think they're going to be so hyped and so ready to play because they ain't been in the playoffs in so long. And I think the crowd is just going to make them do things they wouldn't normally. Like, I think the crowd is going to lift them a little bit in that game, man. So it's going to be hard for me to bet against them, man. So I'm going to go with Detroit in that game.
Okay, you're going to go with Detroit, man. And I'm going to make it simple. I'm going with the Rams because I think that when you got a guy like, Aaron Donald, they, 2 years, 2-3 years removed from winning the Super Bowl. They still got Coach Sean McVay. And I just think sometimes experience plays a role. And I think you're right. I think that Detroit is going to be so up for this game. They're going to make early mistakes that I don't think they're going to be able to recover from. So I'm going to take a Rams, man. You can call it an upset because they are on the road. I'm quite sure that.
I don't think that's an upset.
Detroit might be favored to win the game, but I'm going to go with the Rams on. I'm gonna go with the Rams on that. So who we got next?
And we got the JV game, Green Bay at Dallas.
JV game. Well, I'm gonna do the honors going first.
That's why they be telling about people hate Dallas, right? Love and hate Dallas. The way they say things. They don't say that about some other team. He didn't say that about Baltimore.
Love-hate relationship.
He didn't say about Detroit. He didn't say that about the Rams. He didn't say about any other team. He called the Cowboys JV. JV game with Dallas Cowboys. So that's why we're American team, because the hate.
We can't expand on it, man, too much because we got to close out the show, man. But I'm just gonna say it for all intents and purposes, man. How about them Cowboys?
Woo! Here we go.
Yeah.
So
here we go. It's gonna be transparent. But no, I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys without question, man. I think there's no way Jordan Love coming there, man, and ruin beat out of Dak Prescott. I just don't see it happen. So yes, absolutely, I'm going to Dallas Cowboys. You go ahead, Tim. It's on you. You can go.
I already said. I thought I said Cowboys.
Okay,
Cowboys.
Okay, with DA then.
No, I got the Cowboys, man. Green Bay can't go up there and beat them dudes at home. Ain't no way. They couldn't even beat them if they were playing at Green Bay. I got the Cowboys.
I thought you was gonna come on and go with an upset or something, man.
Well, that's gonna be fun and intriguing because McCarthy is going back to play his other team. So that's why I thought that was really intriguing about that situation, right?
Yeah.
And
and Goff and
Detroit, yeah,
switching teams.
Exactly.
Yep. So that's it for the first round.
Concluding.
You do the AFC? You forgot about the AFC.
I did the AFC.
Yeah, all that.
That's right.
You can't show everybody that we do 50 push-ups on this show when you make mistakes like that, because he did do the
AFC.
That's
a big one. That's a huge.
So we might get him to give us 50 push-ups, man.
That's 75. He missed all 3 of the AFC games. That's 75. Yeah. So, but anyway, like I said, man, we want to thank. Let me read this comment. I had a comment to just come in real quick, man, because Sherry, she states depends on if Dak or Dak Sean show up. Well, Sherry, we're gonna say that Dakota is gonna show up. How about that? Okay. So anyway, guys, I want to thank y'all, man, for another great episode here on the Replay Sports Culture Show. Don't forget y'all to hit the subscribe, like, and share button. We're definitely growing the channel, man, trying to bring the best content we possibly can. And tell a friend to tell a friend, y'all. And like I said, we'll be back, each week, man. We're uploading these things. And actually, we're going to start doing some of the one-on-one stuff. I'm looking to have some of these young players on this show, man, that's playing in the, just finished up the college ranks, as well as some of these NFL players who will be coming home after they lose in these games. We're going to be shouting these boys out. Oh, we didn't do our shout-outs real quick, man. I got a shout-out, man, to Shannon Sharp, really, man, for the interview that he did with Cat Williams. Big shout out, man. He was a conversationalist. They held a great platform, man, and he got over nearly 40 million views. And I got to applaud him because maybe God will give me my blessings like that too. But go ahead. Who you shouting out, TJ?
Well, I'm going to shout out to Bell and Clark, who have finally made some plays on the defense. They finally made plays as linebackers again in this game and actually showed up and showed out for a change. So they actually penetrated. They actually made some big plays, blew up. All of a sudden, Bell is seeing some things all of a sudden on screenplays and different things like that he wasn't seeing before. So shout out to them, and also a shout out to you guys. Okay, all my members, and all the support you gave me in being this champ that I am this season. Thank you guys so very much for being you.
Right on. Who you shouting out, DA?
Man, I'm gonna shout out this youngster, man, out of Green Bay, man, Jordan Love, man. That dude sucked it up after a rocky start. Um, he's a lot further ahead than I thought he would be. You know, he put Green Bay in the playoffs in really his first full year. So I got to give that brother a shout out as well as TJ Shroud down in Houston, man. Shout out to them young brothers, man. They're coming and doing it right.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, we thank all of y'all that came and rolled with us this evening. And we'll be back again. Like I say, once a week we'll be doing this. So until then, y'all be safe and always keep God first. Hit that like, subscribe, and share button now. And we'll see y'all soon. God bless.
God
Peace.
bless.